that I'm a senior product designer, and I have started keeping a work journal as a goal for kind of like my 2024 year. I actually started last year because I never feel like starting a goal like that first day in January is ever the right choice. So I started when I had the idea, which was like a month and a half ago, like late November, right? But anyways, the work journal has been giving me this view into my work and my processes that's just like at another level. It's not like me trying to grind the gears and remember how a process started, identify opportunities for improvement the next time I do that process. I can actually go back through and see those things, see what my goals were, see if I achieved my goals, see, what concerns I had for the week, or, what concerns came up with the work, what maybe things I tried and wasn't successful with, or what things I tried and was successful with. And I think the most important part of this is if you're working in an enterprise business or you're working in a bigger business where, you have OKRs, you have those weekly or you have those quarterly reviews, that time comes up and then you're asked to go back and have kind of an accountability record for how you did in the quarter, how you did over the year. How are you supposed to remember all that? I can't. Truly, I can't. So what I started doing is making this work journal. I've got it all set up in Notion, and it's a really easy Notion space to set up. You can follow along and set one up for yourself. And I guarantee that if you stick with this consistently, you'll have that next level view over your work, your processes, and you'll be able to iterate more quickly on what is working and identify those opportunities for improvement. So the things that aren't working, you can quickly do better with them, and really just keep momentum and build that momentum for yourself. Let's dive in. Okay, so to start, I should start with a new page in Notion. You could use Coda. I just prefer Notion. They have really good like built-in Mac apps and really good mobile app too. So I stick with Notion, but you can use whatever you want. But I just start with this page. Um, if I can spell, just start with, just name it whatever you want. I just do work journal, and then I start with a table. And for this, you could do a database, but I I like to use like a table view database, and I just start with something new. And I would just call this work journal too. So I know it's a little repetitive. You can hide that if you want. Um, there you go. You don't have to look at it. Add a little icon up there. Okay, a little crown action. I like it. We'll just use the book open. That looks kind of cool. And then basically what I do is I start with these as weeks. And the reason I do weeks here is because this like column you can't really get rid of. So you could use like that really cool, got this really cool ID option, but the ID option can't be used as the title. So anyways, I just use this and then I just do like week number 3. So since this is the third week of the year, you could just start like this and do week 1, 2, 3. And the reason I'm doing this format is because this opens up the ability to put my questions here and then be able to read vertically the same answer over and over and over again each week as I kind of go through it. So if this week was, well, we got to change this. So we'll make this question 1. Oh, I scrolled way too far for that. Question 1, and basically, yeah, that kind of starts us off. So you can duplicate this a few times, and you could have a couple different questions. So I like to ask like, what happened? How was my week? That's a nice one. And then for my next one, what were my goals? And what are my goals for next week? And you can make these, you could just assign different things to them. Like you can add a trophy here, maybe a star because we're a little different, and then maybe a little calendar. Doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But the important thing is here, you can say like this week is great. This week sucked. And I was on PTO. So a few things I think is helpful to see is when you start looking at your view. So this is really typical in like user research, right? And a kind of an older way of doing it is putting everything in a spreadsheet and putting the questions that you're asking either up at the top or the questions are down the side, and then each of these columns becomes an interview that you have. So you can see a consistent response from someone, from many people with the same question. Flipping that on its head, the consistency we need is with the question, and the differentiator here, instead of the person we're interviewing, it's the same person. We need to understand what's happening and what's changing each week. So that's why I'm leading with weeks. Questions are across, and then the questions, I can just quickly view them all going up and down. So rest was my goal, and rest, But the nice thing is I can see here goal one, and now I know when I come back from break, goal one is still kind of the thing I need to be working on, right? So I think that's one of the powerful things about like this kind of table view, is that it surfaces all the data so you can see it in one place. That's helpful for me. There's other ways of doing this. You could change your view, and you could do something like a gallery, so you could kind of see your weeks, and then maybe you make them small, and page content is there. The only then you have to actually open something, and then you would put your notes in, and you could see them here, but they kind of lack context as to what they're for. That's why I'm using a table. So you can see it really good here. It's really easy to understand what is going on week to week. You can see your goals. You can see your goals for next week. So that helps me out a lot. The other thing I think would be really helpful is when you go in here to new, you could come in and create a page template and just say week and number and add that in. And then you could come in and say like to-do list if you wanted something, a way to track like what you were working on. And then this would give you the ability to start making, like, maybe you put like 5 or 6 things in here. You could probably connect this to a database too and have like your actual to-dos show up, and whatever things aren't done, progress into this view. You can do all sorts of things with this. But the important thing is here, you've still got your 3 main questions. And then when you come out of this, you're not going to see your to-do list, but what you are going to okay, so if I use the week template, then you could see now we're diving into the individual questions. So now that you see that, you've got a place to store the things you're working on, and then you've got a place to store really like any of the minor things that you need to work on, rather than trying to keep track of them up here. Because one of the issues is you can't actually add checkboxes and stuff in here. Formatting is pretty limited. Like if you add bullet points and stuff, just pretty much a very basic text field, which is fine. You have more powerful stuff down here. You can keep your task list, and then at the end of the week, if you did only 2 of your goals, but not the third, then you put that one in your goal for next week. That's how I'm kind of thinking about this. And then, like I said, this gives me kind of that full picture view to where I can see everything that happened through 52 weeks, on and on and on and on and on, and I can start to understand the themes. You could probably drop these themes in the chat GPT, have it read it, and summarize your whole year off of how was your week. Or you could really like zoom in on your goals, what your goals are for this week and are for next week. So this is how I've got it set up. I'd love to hear if y'all are doing it a little bit differently, or what other prompts you're asking yourself. I've heard some different things, and some of them are really cool. Some of them don't really apply to me, but I'm just kind of curious. So if you're doing this too, what kinds of things are you asking yourself, and how's keeping track of your like week journal going? Yeah, I'd love to know. I want to continue iterating on this and just making it better, and getting a lot of value out of it. So let me know in the comments. Thanks.